Imagine turning an entire tiny little Italian village into a billion-dollar luxury empire while paying workers to read poetry. That's literally the insane genius of Brunello Cucinelli. Like, literally, that is what the entire brand is based upon. And you know what? That is why his prices are justifiable. That's how he attracts the right customers, and that is how he builds on a foundation that is stronger than pretty much any other brand out there. It is not just another Italian high quality cashmere sweater wool brand. No, it is literally an entire brand where he's taken and built this Italian village where every one of his workers are working from, made a concentrated group of people that works on his products and are happy, thriving, getting paid well, eating well, having a good environment, 90-minute lunch breaks. I'll get into this in detail on this video, but that is literally what Brunello Cucinelli is built upon. Literally, it's crazy. So if you did not know about this is about the brand. Now you know, and now you know why the prices are priced where they are. Now, this is what we actually help our clients do: curate a brand identity and a personal story that allows us to attract the right customers and for the customers to justify, which they don't even have to justify, it just makes sense that the prices are where they're placed. Like, this is how you do that. You curate a brand identity that actually attracts the right customers, and then they don't even question your prices. So that is what we help our clients do. We help our clients advertise these kind of personal stories, build them, and actually portray them in the right way throughout the advertising. So if you want us to help you do that, shoot me a DM on Instagram. Let's just get straight into it. Now, while other luxury brands are chasing sweatshop profits, this guy built a medieval castle turned factory where workers take 90-minute lunch breaks and talk about philosophers while hanging out in the cafeteria. But here's the wild twist. Being ridiculously nice made him filthy rich. Zuckerberg wears the $1,000 shirts for important meetings. Saudi princes literally fight over their cashmere sweaters because they're made by the happiest workers on earth. Where else do you hear about this? 90-minute lunch breaks. Talk about philosophers in the break, right? Where do you hear about this? And not only do they have these 90-minute lunch breaks, but where are they? In a medieval 14th century castle, as I'm going to explain right here in the next slide. Like, that is literally the basis of this entire working space that he's created. These customers, and no, excuse me, these workers are so healthy and working from such a healthy environment that they're literally the happiest workers on earth, and that is why people want to buy the products, because they know that they're not buying some fast fashion, some awful production setup. No, they're literally buying into this vibe. The secret, they don't just sell clothes, they sell this whole humanistic enterprise vibe. Once again, even if you go onto the Instagram and look, you can get the vibe of their brand identity. Not only of the products, but also of what the brand represents and what it showcases to the customers throughout this medieval vibe. Now, their HQ is restored. It's a restored 14th century Italian village where craftspeople create insanely beautiful stuff while earning top wages. That's not marketing. That's a story people can't stop talking about. So, what do I mean by this? Not only are they getting paid well, but the concentration of workers that are really producing these items live a healthy lifestyle, but they are also very, very in touch with their products. It is not 500 people working in this. No, it's a concentrated group of people that he has picked personally, and Brunello is even monitoring every piece. He's inside of every piece. He's looking at everything. He's in between the production and the team and every single thing like that. He's there, right? So aside from that, the ads are sleek, elegant, and tailored to each country's language. What I mean by this, every language and every ad is tailored to the specific region that they're targeting. If you go into their about and if you go into the page transparency and open their ad library, you'll be able to see how they run their strategy. Now, there's two main things that I want you to take away from this. First of all, images, of course, high end, high production, etc., etc. Obviously, that's a must. That's how every brand does it. That sells a high price point product. But aside from that, you see that the languages for the ads are tailored to the region that they're running them in. So in this case, they're running the ads in Arabic because this ad is targeted to the Arabic market. You can also see that maybe there's even thought a little bit about the location. It looks a bit deserty. It looks a bit like the locations could be in Arabic countries, etc., etc. If you scroll down to, I'm not sure if this is Japanese or Chinese. I'm pretty sure that it is Japanese. You can also see that the images are tailored to that location. Scroll further down, and you'll see that we also have some ads in Italian, in German, in English, all of that, right? But one more thing that I want you to take away is that their longest running ads is from the 17th of February. This means that they're not running ads for longer than the campaign actually lasts. So every time they're running the ads, it's based on the campaign and for what season that campaign is launched. Now, every time that the campaign is over, they turn off the ads, they launch new batches because you see, every country has the same ads, just with different languages. Now, Another point I want to mention with this is that they're probably not making a lot of money from these ads directly, but indirectly. These ads are for portraying the brand, getting customers into the lifestyle, and and actually allowing customers to buy into the lifestyle and the story behind the brand, and then getting nurtured and paying later down the line, but not directly. They're literally not making a lot of money from this ad. This is for brand awareness. This is for getting out to the customers and just putting themselves out there. It is not sales advertising. You can see that all of the buttons are learn more, all of the call to action buttons are learn more. The link to the call to action link is the Facebook page. So it's not directly targeted to actually, convert customers, but it is to convert customers further down the line. Now, moving back into the presentation here, as I was walking you through, if we go ahead and look at how they've structured this, there's the actual setup of these single country language ads. You may ask the question, should you do that as well? Now, yeah, I think you should. Most brands, local languages works very, very well. But with that said, we also work with multiple brands where we advertise on an international level with everything in English. So we have multiple clients where we run local language ads, which do work, but we also have a lot of clients where we run English ads across the board. Now, it depends on your SKUs, it depends on your setup, it depends where your brand is based out of, what countries have been working from you previously, and etc. etc. A lot of stuff like that. So you have to keep in mind that it depends on your setup and what direction you want to take things in, what is the purpose behind your advertising, etc. etc. If you do want to test the local language ads, we recommend using an ABO campaign that allows you to test different concepts in different locations. After having gathered sufficient data, you can test by grouping countries by region into CBO or doing one CBO per country. We have multiple strategies that suit different SKUs, etc., but we never see a one-size-fits-all when it comes to ad account structure. Obviously, they're common denominators. So when you run ads like this, you can go ahead for the local strategy, and then you can test with ABO to test different local languages in different markets, or you can go ahead and directly run a CBO campaign if you're only going to focus on one country. Sometimes we also just focus on one market in the local language for clients. Sometimes we directly introduce multiple local language ads on the same and at the same time. Here we do this ABO campaign to test out different markets. Then we have a CBO campaign sometimes for scaling, and then we have another ABO for retargeting, etc., etc. So that's a bit more strategic side of things. You can do both if you want to do English. Obviously, the setup is much less complicated, but this is a good kind of rough layout of how you can structure your own. Now, moving on back to Cucinelli, he invites journalists to see his workers eating organic food in a 14th century castle, and the stories tell themselves. He's like a marketing ninja. He turned humanistic capitalism into a luxury status symbol. So not only does, as I told you, does he not sell directly through these ads, but he invites these journalists to come and look at his attraction, look at his village, and portray these, what they see in the media. And what does this do? It attracts the customers. When this story comes out, and let's say that a rich guy sees this article from his favorite journalist that is based upon how Brunello Cucinelli has built his empire, they are buying into the brand now, and then they go ahead and see his products, and they buy the products because they love the brand. So he not only does this marketing strategy with obviously meta ads, etc., as everyone, but he also does it in this unique journalistic way where he attracts the customers through media and through journalism. So it's a very unique way of doing things. So what can you learn here? Find that unique story that your brand represents and that makes people feel good about spending money with you. This is the steps that will not only allow you to sell more, but to attract the right customers who appreciate quality and healthy production. So once again, you have to find your unique personal story for your brand. You have to figure out what does the customer feel good about spending. What are the reasons that the customer feels good about spending money with you? What is your unique personal, what are your unique personal identities for the brand, etc., etc. Once again, we help our clients portray this. We help our clients build this brand identity and portray it to the right customers. If you want our help to do that, please feel free to reach out to me. But this is a very, very, very important learning thing. I haven't seen any other brands do it like Brunelli before. So take something from this, and yeah, see you in the next video.